Welcome to another Motortown playthrough episode. Today we start out in the dark of night in a very shady place because there's heavy shading due to there being very little light. We are of course at the downtown police station, and that means we are finally going to take a look at the police shop. I mean, finally, this is kind of a second thing that we are doing in this playthrough because right now I'm not having the most options available, and this is also quite fun and kinda cool. So let's go and yeah, pretend to be a policeman instead of just having stolen a police car. So how does the job go? What can we do here? This is really one of right now a bit more limited jobs. The only two things available here are going on patrol and just going to different places to get a bit of money and experience for the job. And also if we see anybody doing reckless driving like I've been doing the last two episodes, as a bit of an example. Nothing more, nothing less really. Now if we see somebody doing some shady stuff in their car or with their car on the road, then yeah, we can try and stop them from that. Also, as an official police officer now that I've taken care of this police car, I'm of course above the traffic laws myself and therefore can do whatever I want unless I start ramming other people, because that gives me a bit of an experience penalty. But speeding and that kind of stuff, I'm absolutely good to go, and yeah, that's apparently fine here. So if we see any sketchy behavior by any AI driver, like driving in the middle of a road and just completely overtaking somebody like that, it's gonna be pretty obvious. And then it's just a good idea to stick to them until they actually go above the speed limit. Just like that guy over there. Eventually, if we give him enough time, yeah, he gets marked. And now he's our target. And potentially we could catch him rather quickly, but it might also be the case that he resists and is a bit of a tough nut to crack. Thankfully that car isn't really too fast for us at all. Should be alright, and yeah, apparently... was that an attempted brake check? I'm gonna keep the siren on because I'm gonna do a U-turn here. Okay, let's go back because I wanted to... Oh, you know what? Give me a moment. Oh, there's actually one marker over there. So I'm just trying to plan out a route here. I have a marker right here, another one over there, and then one in the town here. So I guess I should maybe be going this way. So, yeah, that was already kind of half of the job. It sometimes can get a bit crazy with multiple drivers being wanted at the same point. I remember having a situation where I had like 4 of them at one time. Also, this job is pretty fun on multiplayer servers. I'm a quote-unquote moderator on the biggest Motortown server that there currently is, that being the Workers League. It's kind of fun doing police on that, but that also comes with a few extra rules compared to any other job, and also especially single player here. After all, police can potentially mess up a lot of things for other people, and while it's kind of fun chasing other players around, we don't want to just ruin their experience. So yeah, there is a bit of application process for doing the police job on that server, and it also kind of comes with a few other responsibilities, like making sure that if somebody abandoned a trailer somewhere or something like that, you either point it out to them or see to that being removed by yourself. So just trying to do a bit of maintenance and cleanup work here and there. Nothing too crazy, kind of fun. But yeah, on that server, police is definitely a privilege that can be removed if you are being, or if you're not playing nice with others. Which I absolutely, yeah, stand behind, because at the end of the day, it's really about everybody having fun playing and not just the select few. So yeah, anyways, speaking of the Workers League, I think I'm gonna keep the playthrough over here in the single player realm. At the end of the day, with me being moderator up there, that also would mean that I need to kind of take care of a few things. Then again, there's a lot of moderators, so it's not necessary. It's not necessary for me to do a lot of things there. But still, I usually try to keep a bit of eye on chat. And with me already struggling to drive the cars, do all the talking, yeah, handling chat as well, and potentially other stuff, that would really not be that amazing for video making. And I don't know, I think for the series it's kind of also fun just keeping it like this. If I ever was to change my mind on that, and maybe if I go onto that server, just yeah, not take care of things for that session, I think that would be something to do with a different character or so. Might be worth tackling in the future, but right now I don't really have any plans for that. I would like to see that Lambo giving me a bit more fight. But then again, I would likely have a bit of a harder time really staying with that. That's also something that I noticed doing police chases on the TVL server, or TWL I mean. It's kinda obvious that the cars are not really made to deal with anything upgraded. So the police cars work pretty well, especially the later ones, against stock cars and anything that's not really too much modified. But if you come up to something that has the 400 horsepower V12 in it, you're gonna have a bit of a tough time keeping up. So yeah, I hope eventually we'll be able to upgrade the police cars as well. Maybe with a few more restrictions. I don't really think it would be appropriate keeping them as personal vehicles, but yeah, maybe if you have enough experience in one of the cars, you can keep it and then kind of personalize it with a few upgrades. I think that would be nice. Or they need to go down the Need for Speed route and add a few supercar police vehicles. That would also be an option, I guess. But we'll have to see about that. There's definitely a few cars, if you come along those, you already know that, yeah, there's no real reason to give chase to them. It's not gonna go well for you. It's not gonna work out. Unless they really mess up. Then again, there's also spike strips. I don't really use them all that much. I don't even know exactly how you use them. It's something on the map where you set a marker, but I'm not always too sure how exactly that works. Yeah, cars just standing in the middle of a road, not knowing where to go. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, and I might as well at this point, is the whole point about the game being, or the whole topic of the game being made from pre-bought assets. Of course, this is not an asset flip, because that would likely mean people only buy one asset pack and just try to do the bare minimum in order to have something that they can call a game. This is definitely not that in multiple ways. Not only have there been... nice. Somebody to give chase to. Not only have there been multiple packs bought in order for the game to get a bit more variation, but it also has a lot of other things going for it. Like the whole cargo transportation thing and just the entire economy and all of that. You wouldn't find that in an asset flip. And I'm already struggling keeping up with Super over here. And when I say any car's name, oh god, where the hell is that guy going? I of course mean that it's just an analog and not really the real thing. This is not licensed from Toyota or anything. It's just a low poly lookalike. And quite a nice one at that, I would say. Anyway, so yeah, this is not an asset flip, and there are actually quite a few things that I can show you in a moment where the devs kinda gone overboard just buying stuff to have different areas for the game. I mean, not only did they buy like a town or a city pack for the larger cities like this one, it also came with a lot of vehicles, a town pack for the smaller, more for smaller communities at the end, with more rural buildings, but also farm pack that really just is full on farming, and other similar things like that. There's also been street racer pack with some of the cars that you can still find in the game. That looked a bit suspicious there. And that also came with its own harbor, which has been implemented here. We're gonna take a look at that in a moment. But the dev even went out of his way to buy one specific pack, which is the military one. That, just to add a little base here, that's south of the city in the side of a mountain there. And that pack costs like $150 or $180, something like that. That's completely bananas, because apart from it being a bit like like a neat little thing somewhere on the island, there was really no need for that because they're not using anything military in this game. But yeah, a lot of work and a lot of money has been put into making this not an asset flip, so I think I talked enough about that point. Now to something that is one of my more major gripes regarding the game right now. There are a lot of assets in those packs that are sometimes even on show, like in this case, but they are not really available to us. For example, we can buy this pickup truck. That's available somewhere in the town. Of course, not with the livery and the siren, but just as a basic private vehicle. And versions of that one have been in multiple different asset packs because it's all from the same company, which is also why the style of everything is very consistent and nice. But yeah, something like this, which is definitely also the same truck, but with a few different upgrades here. Like an off-road kit, a different truck bed in the back. Those things are not available, even though they are clearly quote-unquote in the game in some capacity. And that even extends to some vehicles. These have been in the harbor for ages. They are part of the pack that gave us the entire harbor and the harbor racetrack to begin with. But yeah, we cannot buy them, we can only look at them, and I don't know, it's a bit of a shame in my opinion. From what I know, the devs kind of want to phase out the asset pack cars and that kind of stuff eventually. And having talked to one of the modelers recently, it seems like they are not even content on modifying the existing cars. They want to make new ones from scratch, and I think in some cases that's potentially a bit overblown. I mean, don't get me wrong. The cars made specifically for the game are better looking than a lot of the asset pack stuff. There are, however, also a few cars in the asset pack, or in the packs that I don't think necessarily need to be replaced or anything. Maybe get a bit of touch up, but they are overall fine and looking nice enough for the game, and there aren't really any major issues. And since they are not really prioritizing getting rid of the asset cars too much, I think it kinda sucks having some of those, like the ones right here, dangled in front of us and not being able to do anything with them. Here's another version of that pickup truck, and yeah, over here two more versions of that non-available old muscle car from back there. Yeah, that's all based off the same vehicle, just with that's an extensive amount of things that can be done to it to turn it into anything like this, like the Cabrio, like this one, or the long nose version that looks like what was it, the Firebird? So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get that they have better things to do than just putting all the time in trying to get rid of asset cars to begin with, but then I think these would be very nice additions to have. Maybe not the glowing rims or something like that, that's a bit too tacky potentially, but this would be a very nice muscle car. This one to the left here, the, what is it, a Challenger, whatever? I don't really know it, especially for the more modern ones. If this was a GTA, I would definitely call it a Buffalo, I can tell you that much. I think that would be a decently nice looking four-door sedan, which we could use a few more of, so I don't know. Especially this vehicle right here, there's also a race truck version around here somewhere. And I wish we could just use that, it would be amazing. But yeah, we're not really getting that, and this being still just dangled around like a carrot on a stick. I think the race truck would be somewhere over there. It's a bit weird. I made the suggestion about adding those cars a while ago, but they didn't really go into that. Ah yeah, that's the race truck version. Looks pretty neat. Again, most likely would need a bit of fine-tuning, a bit of an overhaul to work with more higher res vehicles which are already in the game. But I think this would be a decent enough addition as it is already, and it would be very fun to have in the game. But yeah, apparently not getting that. And yeah, there was also another thing that I recently talked to some of the team about, and also just a few other community members regarding the SUV in the game. I think there's multiple ones, like two at least, but one of them has like 8 seats, is a rather large American style SUV, so quite the big box you could call it. Let me just see if there's another thing to collect here nearby to get back on track with my job right here. One over there. Doesn't really look all that amazing here. Yeah, I might as well go to that one. Who knows? Who cares? Just keep moving and increasing the driver score at least. Yeah, that SUV has been in the game for a while now, and there has been the suggestion in the room about it getting a bus license as an option. There's already an old VW transporter, actually the one right ahead, which is very nice of the game to show off as a bit of a demonstration here. That thing has the same amount of seats, and it can be used as a bus. It's actually a vehicle that you need to use as a starter for the bus company, because that's the only one you can drive without needing to have a specific bus driving level. So yeah, there is some precedent that some vehicles can be upgraded with a bus license, and I wish that SUV was one of them. And that's also something that apparently has been done in real life for remote areas. And yeah, I just want another vehicle that is four-wheel drive, can have regular engine types as an upgrade option, and also it has a bit of a higher comfort rating, which we're gonna talk more about once we actually get to bus driving. But yeah, some people just seem to be completely against that, and even one of the modelers said that they would come up with some specific four-wheel drive bus model and that kind of thing. And I'm like, I mean, that's cool. That's something that I would like to see in the game, but having one of those doesn't really mean that you cannot have the other as well. And I think just having that as an option would be real nice, especially since that SUV itself, it's a bit underutilized in my opinion. It's not all that useful. It's a nice model and all of that. It's also one that was specifically made for the game. But for the civilian version there isn't too much use right now. It also comes with a police car variant, which is nice, but yeah. Just being able to outfit that with a bus license, it wouldn't be anything that everybody would do. And it's also something that nobody would have to do if they don't want to. There's a lot of people don't seem to care too much about the idea, but I don't see why anybody would be strictly against it. And from what I understand, it's pretty likely that it wouldn't really take too much time. It's more like all they would need to do is enable that option for that vehicle, and then it would be ready to go. Just allow it to be outfitted with a bus license, to use it as one, and then it would be like every other bus as well. Only that it would be four-wheel drive, outfittable with a V12 engine, and likely the fastest thing around that you can take down south into the new area. But I have to see what comes from that. Right now it doesn't seem likely, but well, one can wish. Anyways, I didn't really want to drag that on for too long. So yeah, here's another patrol point. And we are kinda running out of them. Oh, damn it, that was maybe... that wasn't a nice maneuver. I gotta get back to some repair shop in a moment. Thankfully, the state is going to cover the cost of that. That was definitely the cost of... yeah, the cost of it was a faulty road. That was not my mistake or anything like that. This was unavoidable. Just look at the state of these roads. Potholes everywhere. Not that they matter much, but... anyways. So yeah, apart from that, don't really have too much to talk about regarding anything else right now, I think. Oh yeah, one thing that I want to mention, with one of the recent updates, the devs have added a lot more of these flower beds, which are kinda deadly, and also some dividers in the middle of the road, but thankfully after a while they got rid of those again. I mean, the pros of having those is that, after all, this is based on a real life location, which also has dividers in the middle of the road and those flower beds on the sides. The cons of that is, another pro is that it kinda looks nice. Don't wanna underestimate that. The cons is that it made driving a pain in some cases. It was a bit glitchy, and especially when it comes to road racing, it was all over the place, and in a way that a lot of routes that people figured out for good racetracks wouldn't be usable anymore. Finally another guy to be chased. That seems to be like one of those Porsche lookalikes, so I don't really have the highest hopes here. But maybe he gets stuck somewhere, and then I have a chance. Also, I should maybe try to repairing the car, but yeah, it's gonna be fine. I don't know if the rain is going to help me here or if it's gonna make things worse. I maybe let's just push him into one of those flower pots. That should do the trick. But yeah, those dividers just made things worse to play for a while, and then they got removed again, which I'm kinda happy about. So yeah, but that was really one of those very few things where I saw the game going in a direction I wasn't happy with. And they thankfully listened to the community, so yeah. It's a bit more like how it was before, not completely, but the few things that were left over are in places where we don't really get into the way too much. And it's not so extensive that it's gonna mess up people's stuff all that much, so I think I'm definitely fine with all of that. And I think that's also just the general stance of the community at this point. So yeah, all good in that department. Anyways, before I really start rambling on and on about that kind of thing and completely lose my train of thought, as I did already a few times in this video, I think it's time to end this one. Thanks for watching, and it's another one that got a bit longer than I expected and than I really wanted, but it is what it is. I'm gonna have to see how... let me check the levels. Driving level 6. That's not all that amazing. I think I'm gonna have to do a few things off screen in order to get my level up high enough to finally do something different, and yeah. I wanna start out bus driving. I think that would be fun. Might have to do so with some of the default routes to begin with. Might check out in between episodes what I can do there, what is available right now, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed. Till next time, bye bye.